And I do not have my YouTube on either. Let me know if we're live because I can't see the screen yet. Just so you know, this is a good safe. Help that forward. You think by now I'd be all good at this? Okay, we're on mute. Can we see me? Oh, come on, Demi. Yeah, we're live. Oh my God, I see you guys. Bill H. Welcome to Tuesday night hangouts. I'm Shane, your host for the first Tuesday of every month. We got Eric Lear with ppglear.com. How you doing, sir?
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight?
You're doing pretty good. We got Mark McElroy from Paralife PPG. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
And then we have Will Fly. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome, man. I can't think of a better place that I'd want to be here on Tuesday night. The first of, what is it? 2/2/22?
Is it really? No, it's the first.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow's 2/2/22.
2/1/22. Yeah, whatever. Nothing special. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to John Wayne, who actually texted me today to say, just check on me, make sure everything's going good and everything. I appreciate that. It's nice with this community that we have, that we do have people that actually truly care about one another. And I just want to say thank you for the text today. It didn't go not noticed by no means. I just been busy with everything. I've had my mother-in-law got in a car accident. She's still in the hospital for been 2 weeks now. Since the 20th. Jack, my puppy, he broke his toe. And what else? I think there was a menstrual cycle somewhere along the way. I don't know. I'm just kidding about the last part. All right, so we got 3 things to talk about tonight. One, I had an incident where, so I haven't flown since December 10th. Then January 20th, I went to the Sunnyland fly-in, started my motor up, got it. Actually, we did, let me back up. I did a 200-hour maintenance on it, which, by the way, at some point, Eric's going to put a video together of that whole thing and then upload it to his channel. So keep an eye out on that. So January 20th, I decided to go ahead and take flight, set up, launched. I was 8 minutes into my flight when I had a motor out. Landed in a lettuce field and had my wife come pick me up. No incidents. Hey, Lone Star, how you doing, sir? So I got back to the field and pulled on this paramotor forever, and it just wouldn't start. There was just no ignition. Changed the spark plug 3 different times. Made sure it was getting fuel, everything. I thought maybe with the 200-hour service that I did, that there was something that I did wrong with that service. So the next morning, got up, had breakfast, and then tore into the motor, took the jug off, went over everything that I had replaced. Everything was perfect, put it back together, which, by the way, I should have videotaped it and then said that part to you, Eric, because I put that together like a champ, like I'd done it before. So couldn't figure it out, could not get this thing started. Called Eric, who, by the way, is a lifesaver. We disconnected the fuel line from the carb and pulled it several times to get the fuel out of the carb. I think we took the spark plug out as well. And then we put the spark plug in, left the fuel line off. I pulled on it once, the thing turned on, it started. Then, of course, it ran out of fuel. Tried to pull it again, it wouldn't start. So come to find out, Brian Haybell Waller, he's like, hey, when's the last time you had a carb rebuilt? And I'm thinking to myself, it can't be the carb. I've not had an issue between 60 to 80 hours with this carb. I just did this service on this motor. Now it's not working. It's got to be, obviously, it's got to be something I did with the 200 hour. Well, we took the carb apart, and I wish I would have saved the pieces. All the gaskets and the carb were perfectly fine. There was absolutely nothing wrong. No tears, no wears. But the float pin, is that what it's called, Eric? The float pin?
I think so.
It's actually got a little point on it, and then it's flared out, and then goes up the rest to make the pin. That was actually just a sharp, like almost like a needle all the way up. There was no grooves in it. So what was happening is when I hit the fuel or hit the throttle, it literally would just flood the carburetor. I had fuel coming out of my exhaust gasket. I'm sorry, out of the exhaust where the bushing mounts to the motor, and I couldn't figure out why that was happening. But if you ever get that problem where you're having fuel actually coming out of your exhaust, you might want to check your carb, because that's what happened to me. We rebuilt the carb. I say we. I watched Brian Waller do it because me and Motors, we don't get along. So he rebuilt the carb, primed it, first pull, started. This is so funny because I had nothing but issues with my motor. So I went up and I took off. I circled around, did a 180, and my motor, as when I left the throttle, my motor died. So I came in, landed. I landed far enough away from the campers where I was able to, if I could get my motor to restart, I was going to restart it, take off. Well, it restarted. So I set my wing up, hooked in, took off. I got up to about 600-700 feet, let off the throttle, motor died. I was like, what in the world? Restarted it, kept flying. I ended up seeing Brian Waller, so I just kept flying. And as soon as I left the throttle again, my motor died. Restarted it, knew at this point I just couldn't let off the throttle. So I flew the whole time, I'd say 25, 30 minutes. Came in, landed, adjusted my idle, took off again, flew for another maybe 15, 20 minutes doing high G, my high G spiral downs and wing overs, and the motor just kept running. At this point, it's perfectly fine. Everything is good with the motor. I'm not good with motors. At some point, Eric's just going to have to move to Florida, and anytime I have motor problems, he just comes over and we work on it. And by we, I mean Eric, while I sit there and drink beer and watch it.
I'm willing to do that.
I'm just saying.
Freaking mobile mechanic, Eric.
Right?
Yeah, that's your business when you retire.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to?
Mark?
Go ahead, Eric. No, well, I haven't been up to anything much, not paramotor wise, because I'm still nursing this leg. I want to make sure it is good and healed by the time freaking bad apples comes around, or the flying season. That would be terrible for it to happen right in the middle of the flying season.
What did I miss with your leg? Because I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you.
It was the last step of a successful launch. I pulled my muscle, my quad muscle. Yeah.
I threw my back out just at the last step as I took flight once.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to come around and you got to land sometime, right?
I flew for 20 minutes trying to get comfortable and debating how I was going to land. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work.
It's amazing how softly you can land when you have to.
So I got to find this video. I literally, when you let off the throttle, you're coming in for approach, you slide out of your seat. When I slid out of my seat, all you hear in the video is, oh! Just that straightening of my back was just so painful. And I just came in both feet in like left side by side. And as my feet hit the ground, I flared, went to my knees, drug on my knees, went on to all fours. The wing just shot over me, and I just sat there. And then Krista and another guy came over, and I was like, "We got to get this motor off my back." And then I literally crawled. This was a Friday. We were actually staying at the compound in the camper. We had just got there. I just launched. Everything was good. My back goes out. I go into the camper. I'm like, what am I going to do all weekend? I'm not going to just sit in here. I might as well just go home and be miserable. So I had Krista help load the camper up, back up to the truck, and we ended up going back to the house where I cried like a baby the entire weekend.
How much did it affect your flying season, though? I mean, was it?
Oh no! So I have a chronic. I don't even know how to explain this. Since I was like 18 years old, I threw my back out when I was working, and probably every 3-4 months, it'll catch, and it lasts maybe 4 or 5 days, and then it goes away. And there's no rhyme to reason it. I've sneezed, threw my back out. I've been picking stuff up that should throw my back out. I picked up nothing. I put my shoes on in the morning and laid on the floor crying. There's no rhyme to reason for it. But yeah, that has happened to me, and it absolutely sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
Well,
I feel your pain
yeah.
in a different area, but I feel it.
Oh no, it's when you're injured, it sucks. I don't even know what I really truly just flew around for 20 minutes trying to figure out how in the hell I was going to land, because there's no way I could put any weight on my feet. How do you do that? But your back is
rescue, or I don't know what you would do.
I mean, and no pun intended, but your back is your backbone to strength. So without it, you're just screwed. And that's what I did. I literally put my foot left to right, feet together, and as soon as my feet dragged the ground, I flared, and whatever happened after that, I was just like, there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, you set your priorities, I guess. I mean, the back's important.
All I had to do was protect my moneymaker, which is my face, and that's what I did.
And your legs.
Screw that. I don't care about them. Not when it comes to my moneymaker. Eric, I hear that this time of the year for you with work is pretty slow and very boring.
Yeah, not doing much. No, we're booked out. So just been real busy at work. Let's see, I flew Sunday. I think it had a little bit of a crosswind, so got it on video. Jade was a little nervous with my landing, but totally under control. But no, it was fun. My 3D printed ski mounts, either I have to work on figuring out a way to make them stronger, or go a different route. So I'm thinking maybe the different route might be the choice I go with. But
what problems are you having with them?
I looked at one wrong and it broke. So I don't think it's going to stand up to takeoffs and landing in, cool weather. So instead of taking the chance of breaking something when I'm going down a runway, an icy runway, I've been playing around with them a little bit, and so it's just I'm not comfortable with it. And if I'm not comfortable, I'm not putting them on my trike. So I put them on Jade's, and I'm going to let her go up and see how. So
Thinking.
no, but I'm just not comfortable with it. Hey, so I don't want to change the subject, but Angela has a question in the chat, and it says, Shane, what's your background?
I just saw that. All right, so a little while ago, we had brought up or mentioned a guy. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember the neighbor that I didn't know that lived behind me. All right, the guy that lives behind me, my neighbor, is actually a retired school teacher who started a scholarship in my son's name. And we are working on getting as much, I shouldn't say as much money. I have a goal of $5,000 to raise to give to the school. And this is the school. As soon as I move, you'll see that the school's address and all of that is on there. If you were to donate to the school, they will give you a tax exemption form, which is good for your taxes. So you're really not spending money later. You're spending it now, but you'll get it back later. So the scholarship is for good citizenship. My son was very kind and very caring towards other students constantly. This school teacher that is retired now didn't even have Gage as a student, but knew who Gage was because he's seen Gage constantly helping students that were struggling, whether it be at home, just having a bad day, whatever. So my son, what I'm trying to say is my son was a lot like my wife, not like me. But he was a great kid, and this scholarship will help keep my son's name alive and his things that he did for students when he was in school. So as soon as let me go ahead and move. Hold on, we got to turn the camera. Hopefully that will work. Does it work? Because I don't have my zoom up. I have the.
Your chair
No.
away.
Well,
Something's in between
Oh,
it.
that's just my chips. Don't worry. What is going on here? Why is this not working now? It worked perfectly fine earlier. Come on, seriously. All right.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, come on, hold that. So if you request,
Part of your shirt in the camera, just a little of your shirt.
oh, you think it'll work?
Well, that's too much. Or just right.
Hold on. This is retarded. Why does nothing work for me ever?
There you go. Stop. Don't breathe.
So if you request a letter for tax purposes, you'll get a tax exempt paper in the mail, or I think they may do an email back to you. I'm not 100% sure. So
It goes out on a podcast too, doesn't it?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to give, tell speak it out loud, the address there.
Oh no, you can totally. It's a public school, and
Okay,
nothing goes to in my hands. It's all to the school. So I'm not trying to raise money for myself or nothing dumb like that. It literally is just for the school. The athletic director Todd, was actually a coach, or he was a coach and a teacher when I was at the Galley High School. And every time he gets a donation, he texts me and lets me know that we got more money for his foundation or for the scholarship. I think right now we raised $750, so got a little bit more to go. If we don't make the 5,000, because what they're doing is they're giving a scholarship of $500 a year. So if we raise $5,000, it'll last. That scholarship will go for 10 years, and that would be awesome. So, with that being said, who's got the picture of the flying incident that I had? I actually forgot. Wait a minute, before you show that, real quick, hold on. I actually forgot to share with you guys. After I fixed the idle, as I was flying. Now I've had three launches already. As I was flying, I happened to see. Ready with the drum roll of the photo? Anybody? Who's got the photo?
Will, you're gonna have to do that if you can.
I'd be happy to, but what do I do? Where do I go?
Screen share his photo that he sent to you.
No,
Oh,
it's in the group chat with us. Well, the one of me flying at the last fly-in.
Okay, the text or the messenger?
Messenger.
I think it was a text.
Okay.
Hold on, I can send it to you now. Oh my God, what happened there?
Anyways, while we're waiting, Mark, what have you been up to?
Luckily, I've been doing a decent little bit of flying. We've had nice weather. We got real bad wind the next 3 or 4 days. So we flew last night and got that out of the way.
Yep, I just got a text from David Wolf. He said I make this black shirt look sexy. You can see my nipples popping through there.
Hey, well, I sent that to you in a text and in a messenger, so however you want to take it out.
Okay, it's really cold here, Dave. That's why. So, all right. So I got that. Got that. Let's see if I can make it bigger.
As Kyle would say, this is good content.
He would never say that watching this show. I mean, the first
Hey,
thing-
Dave, if you're listening, how's your boy doing with his plane licensing going?
Yeah, he passed his written exam, man.
Yep. I heard that. That's cool.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
And I can zoom it in if I need to, or if you need to look at a particular spot, but that's pretty obvious there.
So with this carabiner sitting like the way it is, I actually think it's pretty strong. It's not what it's designed to do, but it actually opens that brass piece right where your mouse is. It actually has to be pulled down and then twisted, and it opens at the top. So technically, my riser would have to go up, over, and then around. But for over 300 flights that I've had, this is the very first time that this has happened to me. I clipped in, I checked my doors, so that carabiner was correct at that point. I checked my roads, brakes, cleared a pulley. Everything was perfect. At some point of me grabbing my A's, lifting my hands up to my shoulders to get ready to launch, this thing twisted and did that. Technically, like JP Tulo said, unless I was doing some high G maneuvers, that's not really a concern. As a 2-year pilot, which I still consider myself a newbie, that right there is my worst fear. Like I did reach down to grab my I guess we lost Will.
Well, you can only screen share so much before the computer kicks you off.
So I actually, when I first looked over and saw that, the first thing I did was reach for my reserve, not to pull it, but to have my hand on it ready to throw, because I was only at 200 or 300 feet. So it actually put me in a bit of a panic mode, if you will. And then when I got a second look at it, I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Don't panic. Turn and let's go into prepared to land. I did, as I was turning, I did have the time to take that actual photo, and I prepared for landing. I landed, and then after I got that fixed, I decided not to fly no more that day. The day before, I had an engine out. Then I came in, took off, or landed 3 times because of 3 different issues. Actually, 3 issues with the card, and then the carabiner. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I should have taken off and launched again because I couldn't fly the rest of the, what was it, Saturday? What was that? It was Sunday morning. The winds were high, so I didn't end up flying. But yeah, I had my
You
wife.
ever
on.
find out how that happened, or is it now part of your checklist or your pre-flight, or?
Well, that's the thing. I literally, when I clip in, and I got my brakes in my hands, the risers are out in front of me. I go through the process of doors that have to be shut, which is the
Right.
carabiner. The roads, which is the risers, are even, level. They're not twisted or what have you. Brakes, and then clear to pull it. I did all of that. The only thing I can think of that perhaps might have happened is when I grabbed my A's and flipped
Yeah,
my A's up. I think the carabiner might have got a little slack in it, but I don't know how it happened. I don't know how to fix it, and I can guarantee you it will be something that I look at a little sooner in my flight before I get 200 to 400 feet in the air.
yeah.
Well-
Because if it was on the lever side, that would be the soup, that would be like the weakest, right? So,
Yeah, I would have. I don't know how. If that would, like I said, the second time I looked at it, I realized, oh, I'm okay. You know, like it's not gonna just snap. Um, but it did put the fear of God, and I. There may be a brown starfish in the seat after I saw that because I was just like, holy shit. That is my worst fear. In class, we saw a paraglider who had his riser just hanging on the end of a opened carabiner, and
Yeah.
that actually was the cause of his death. Is when that slipped off and he plummeted to earth. For me, I look at my wing and I come down the lines as I'm flying, down to the risers to the carabiner, and then I do the same thing on the opposite side. And every time looking at the carabiners is like a nightmare, scary movie situation every single time. Over 300 flights, every single time. When I have to look at that carabiner, it's the scariest thing for me because I just want it to be right. But if it's wrong, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And I do. It takes me a second. I come down the riser and I just go, look, it's good. And then I start this whole process, and then I have to convince myself again that I'm not going to die. Mad Sloper, it was a forward launch, is when that happened with the riser. Is there any questions in the chat? I have not been looking, to be honest with you. I can't get over Will's shirt now that DP brought it up.
And surely that didn't happen from jumping in the seat. Otherwise, it would have happened at Moonshiners.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Matt Sloper and I are he I guess had sore quads at one time. So we're gonna start a new group. We're gonna call it the Quad Squad. So anyone who pulls your quad muscle, let us know. We'll join.
So, if with my back problem, should I start a group called Slack Backers or
Back slackers, slack pad.
Back Slackers? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
My internet's glitchy, so if I go away, I'll come right back.
Yeah, our slogan will be, "We can pick it up as long as we don't have to bend over."
I tell you what, when I was at Bad Apples and when I pulled my leg, it was painful. And then every morning I got up and I'm like, yeah, it's better. No, it wasn't. It still hurt. Every time I landed or took off, it hurt. So then I just stuck with the trike. I said, screw it.
Wait, what?
What?
You're saying it still hurts and like
No, when I was at Bad Apples, that's when I kept riding the trike, is because when I was foot launching, when I was there, I mean, we got there, what, a week early. By Wednesday, I think I pulled my quad muscle, and it was like, screw it. I'm not going to keep being in pain. So I just used the trike the rest of the time we were there.
did you stretch before you launched?
Doesn't look like I stretched doing anything.
No, I mean, no, it's a serious question because I mean, I'm hoping that if I take the time and stretch before I launch, that there won't be a repeat, because I did nothing to cause this injury. It just happened. I mean,
No,
I didn't trip or anything.
It could just been a funny way that your foot landed that caused
Right.
a strain on part of the muscle that it doesn't get used. Or I never stretch. I am famous for that from being young, playing sports all the way up. And I never stretched. I just ran, did whatever I had to do. But yeah, now that we're getting older, I still don't stretch, but I should. I know I should.
I don't want a repeat of this.
Right.
I done paid that bill, so I'll definitely stretch.
So
Yeah,
has anybody-
stretching's got to be good.
Mhm.
I mean, without it, you don't have flexibility. But so a lot of you guys don't know, from the age of like 15 to like 21, 22, I was a roofer. So literally, I can still to this day put my palms of my hands on the floor, straight-legged, without a problem.
I thought you said you learned that in prison.
No, other things in prison, like how to run. 8 by 10 cell is not easy to run.
You probably learned how to run in prison. I don't know, man.
So has anybody had a riser do anything other than what it's supposed to during flight?
You mean like a twist?
Well, I'm sorry, carabiner get screwed up.
No, I haven't, but I do have a question. So because it was pulling down on that riser, did that make you want to slowly turn to the right?
No, I didn't notice any flight difference, handling difference at all. It was just my it's not a pre-flight, it's my in-flight thing that I do each time. Like I said, I go from the wingtip to the riser to the carabiner to the other side, and then once that happens, I can do whatever I want. But I don't do any of that, anything other than fly straight until I make sure everything is good to go.
Yeah.
And if I ever see my riser and my carabiner hanging off to the, just barely hanging on, I'm just throwing my reserve. I'll figure that all out later. Oh, I that is so scary to me, dude. I don't know why it drives me nuts to look at my carabiners, but it scares me every flipping time. I can take a wingtip collapse. It doesn't get my heart going as much as it does in flight checking my safety stuff. I don't know
Right.
why. Um, so I do want to say that this all happened at the Sunnyland fly-in that they had. I believe, from what I was talking to Christina, which is the girlfriend of, I think his name's Lewis, the owner of the field. Um, this was their first attempt at a fly-in. It's an actual pretty great place to fly. A lot of open pastures for emergencies, LZ emergency landings. Um, there's plenty of stuff to see. I actually didn't get to experience much of that this go around. Dude, I think you're 11 miles from Lake Okeechobee, which is, God, I think it's 23 miles across. If you look at the map of Florida from space, the big blue dot at the bottom of at Florida is Lake Okeechobee. It's huge. Um, it's 11 miles there and 11 miles back. I was wanting to take that trip, didn't get the chance because I wasn't confident in my gear. Um, but yeah, it. They're actually. When is the next fly-in? Eric,
I think it's March 16th through the 20th.
I think
Dude, that's coming up soon.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to have them the first Tuesday of the month before their fly-in. I'm actually going to have them come on and talk about their fly-in. They're making a lot of upgrades. This was um, kind of thrown together, and they really weren't sure how it was going to work out, and they got a better um, response than they had really truly planned for. The field that they're on is just a pasture, and it's kind of small. So they're actually going to take down the center fence and open. It's going to triple the LZ and give us plenty of room for 3 times as many people that were there this last time. I'm not sure how many people were there. I want to say there was probably, I would say, well over 100 pilots there, but I can't guarantee you. It was. I spent most of my time looking at the stupid motor, trying to get it up and running. But it's a very nice. It's a very nice area. Great place to fly. They do have a couple sensible rules, like don't fly over livestock or fly low over livestock. There's a racetrack with thoroughbreds that the guys paid close to $1 million a horse. Yeah, don't fly nowhere near that. You break or hurt one of those horses, you're screwed. I mean, it's and there's a prison, literally a prison. I wouldn't say a mile and a half from the LZ. Don't fly over the prison. That's pretty much it. I mean, literally, it's a carefree, very laid back. Um, the owner is a he flies paramotors. Um, his wife is like this. Uh, she's a fitness person. I happened to see her in a golf cart with her arm over the back of the golf cart as I come up behind her, and all I could see was like all the fibers of muscles in her back, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And I look up and I see my wife looking at her, going, or looking at me, going, "Have you seen her?" And I was like, "I know." It was a moment the two of us are like, "Holy crap!" And I go, "If you're gonna look like that, if I buy a farm, I'm buying a farm." And we had a good laugh, and then we moved on. But yeah, she's very ripped, very in shape. Where I'm in shape too. Round is a shape. Just so you know.
Well, hey, I never had anything, I haven't had that happen to me, what happened to you, Shane, but I have had, of course, riser twist. I mean, the paramotor, it flies just fine with that. It's not,
Right.
it's not convenient. But what I have had happen several times, and this was on would have been the Parajet, the Maverick. You know, the hook end where the harness attaches. See, how's that? I have to look at it real quick. Give me just a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I had a video where I literally did a reverse as I bring the wing up. I did not do a good enough pre-flight, which is the doors, roads, brakes, clear the pulley. In the video, as I pull the wing up, you can see a rising twist, and I turn around and take off. So clearly, I got complacent. This was within the first 50, 55 flights that I had. When I saw that, I was scared to death, came back, landed, fixed it, took off. But it didn't really affect me too much, other than my fear factor. Go ahead, Bill.
Keep talking. I'm gonna pull something up here and show you.
Yeah, I mean, we all get complacent. We all kind of just go through the motions. We don't actually check stuff. So for me, I would I'm gonna be checking that carabiner as I bring my A's up. I'm gonna probably look down and make sure that those carabiners are set where they're supposed to and good to go.
Huh. I wonder, I haven't found the right picture yet, but on the, let me just share.
Bad wood. Oh, brother. Actually, oh, I forgot to tell you. So you guys know the retired teacher behind me, Jeff. His wife made me punz it. If you don't know what punz it is, oh my god, it's great. He just gave me the recipe. I am going to be hey Bobby, Terry always gets mad at me because I always call him Madwood, but I know it's Terry. But anyways,
Will, do not share that screen again. I saw that.
I mean, watch the
screen.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, there it is.
You saw that? You weren't supposed to see that.
I just was thinking about playing marbles.
That's like part of my private collection.
Uh-huh.
You know, so.
Keep it private.
Oh, geez.
Actually, if I just screenshot and then added a video texture to it, to our group chat, it would be a pretty good video.
I was thinking about getting a slingshot.
But this one?
That's awesome.
Man, you make that suit look pretty darn hot.
Now you know why he's not welcome back to Florida. I mean,
Had nothing to do with COVID.
you know how weird it is to walk down the beach with this guy. He's like, go over here, look at seashells. I'm like, stop picking up shells.
Yeah, someone said the shoes clash with that suit. I would have to agree.
Oh, yeah. Payback.
Yeah,
All right, so now that
I guess it was Wisconsin. They don't get out much.
God dang it. I think I'll never be monetized, just so you know.
I was looking for it on the Maverick. There's the hooks that, you know, when you hook it in, and I'm doing my best to remember because I haven't flown it for a while, but it would actually get folded underneath on occasion. And
That's what it would look like was happening in that last picture you showed.
yeah. Yeah, okay, Eric, you fly Maverick, right?
I'm
Okay,
flying
so-
that swimsuit pretty well,
If that's what you want to call it.
right?
Angela says, "Holy balls!"
Oh my. Now, okay, so the blue arms, right? They're coming
Yes,
out.
yes.
And then you got the connectors on each arm. I'm trying to remember how it does it, but sometimes it gets caught underneath. It flips underneath to where. What I'm trying to say is it does not affect my flight in any way, shape, or form, but that's as close of a that I've come to having something like what you had happen to you happen.
So that would that hold your arm down further?
Yeah, no, up. It wouldn't
Okay.
allow it to come down because you know the weight's all on it now when you're flying. So if
Okay.
anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about, maybe you could explain it to me because at this point I'm lost.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you that after that picture, there is only 4 people on YouTube and it's us 4.
Those are the diehards. Oh yeah, it's us. No, there's only 3 marked left. He went to wash his eyes out with gasoline.
Some OC spray. He's like, it's no. Actually, I think he just left his welding helmet there and just gonna go weld and just stare into the light.
Stare in the sun.
Make sure I can't see again. Hang on, continue the show.
There's Jade. Hey, paramotor girl. Wondered where you were.
Oh my
Anyways,
god!
it was her idea, Eric. Just saying.
I believe it.
So I would say if anybody in the chat or on the call has a chance to go to that fly-in March to do it, they're actually gonna do it bigger and better. When we have them on before the fly-in, we will talk to them and find out their new upgrades that they're doing. I know the big talk was to take that center fence down and open it up. I think it would be. I bet you it would be an open field of 20 to 25 acres, if not bigger. It's huge. Both pastures together. Actually, I don't know if I have. Let me see something. I might have a video of that, or I might have got rid of my 8-minute flight.
Hey, just for the record, Deweese wants me in the calendar.
Well, and just for the record, Linda Anderson says, I'm like, haha.
Oh yeah, there I got 2 fans. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Paramotor
just for
girl
the
says, oh my
record,
God.
I don't want a calendar.
Oh, yours is already in the mail.
Hey, at that fly-in, they were talking about getting a food truck there, and they're working on. They said something about working on bathrooms and showers.
Yep. They had I brought my camper down, so I didn't need to worry about either one of those. But I think they had a shower there. I didn't see it. I didn't go there. They actually have a tree house, which is an entire building in a tree. It's a huge tree house. JT Warto has, I think, on his YouTube channel, he has one of the fly-in. He does walk to the tree house. You can see it's massive. It's huge. I bet you they probably have $60,000 worth of material in that treehouse. It's huge. Lights, air conditioning, the whole 9 yards. It's amazing. They actually they have a grass airport runway on the backside of the property where the Cessnas come and go. Like his family come in all the time in their own planes. It's a pretty nice setup. There's horses. There is a donkey. I don't know where he's at, but I heard him a lot because he was screaming the entire time. Cows everywhere. A very sandy dog named Jack was there. Told him to stay out of the dirt.
Red was there too, wasn't he?
Yep, Red was there. Red and Jack played the entire time. This is the very first fly-in that I had Jack off leash or off a runner 98% of the time. he literally just hung out with all the dogs. My daughter showed up with her 2 dogs. So you had Jack, Red, Cover, and Griff just running around. Then there was the dogs that are on the farm. They showed up. So at any time there was 7, 8 dogs in my campsite the entire time. I was like, holy crap, this is a bit much. But yeah,
Well, I will be there.
well, you're supposed to be at this last one, but you cried about having to make sure that you washed the baseboards and stuff for Joni because you didn't want to get beat again.
Yeah, true that. Well, this time, actually the week before or whatever, I'm going to be out in Montana, but then I'm going to come back and get ready and go down there. I'll be there.
I will be too. And who on the panel is going to be at Bad Apples? I assume everybody, correct?
Yeah.
If Eric has a trailer,
If we get our fifth wheel back,
if not, and I'm going to make this very clear to Eric and Jade right now. If it's not, you guys can stay in our camper. You will take the master bunk, and Chris and I will sleep on the dinette because that room is cooler or colder than the master bedroom.
well, thank you.
So what am I gonna do?
Well, there's plenty of room under the camper.
Okay, I found a picture and I want to show it to you.
Uh-oh.
No, it's safe, guys. You can watch. Let me get back to where I was. Share and there. And okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. It is this part right here would fold under instead of allowing it, or no, actually, no. It actually got caught up on the bar, up on this side when it's supposed to be like it is right now.
So it wouldn't allow that bar to come all the way up.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So I can't be the only one that's ever happened to because it's happened to me several times. And on some occasions, you can like really, put a lot of pressure and snap it back down, but usually not because there's too much weight on it.
I have never had that happen on my Maverick. So
Would be interesting if anyone in the chat has ever had that happen.
We got Aaron I in the chat. He said hi from Salton Sea. Our greetings from Salton Sea.
Jealous.
That's a long drive for us East Coaster guys.
Yeah.
That's like a day and a half drive. Dude, I can't even imagine. I would just fly out, stay in a hotel, rent a car, and just hang out.
Yeah, and if you're doing that drive in a day and a half, you're accomplishing something.
That is, I think I looked it up. It was 28 or 29 hours from my house.
There's not even a way to do that in 2 days and enjoy it. You kind of have to spread that out. For me, I'd have to be like a, 3 or 4 day journey.
Yeah, even if you had several people driving and everybody drove for if you had 4 people in a vehicle and everybody drove 2 hours each, it still would be just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just.
Well, my friend did it the best way last year. I think last year or the year before. There was a group of guys that were heading out there from North Carolina, and he was able to get his gear in their van, and he flew out there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Boom, boom.
Hey, Dave Wolf said, Wolfly, if that happened to me, or that has happened to me, and it's something I'm reading through my freaking camera.
I'm looking at it.
Something, and now always check before launch. Pull up on the carabiners once the glider is attached, and you will see if it's right or not.
Yeah, another thing to pre-flight. That's a good point.
Hey, Eric, did you hook your computer up to your TV yet?
no, I like that idea though. We get out to Shane's house and I'm so used to looking on my laptop, and then he goes and he turns on his computer and he has it hooked up to this huge big screen TV in the living room. I'm like, that's pretty slick.
Hey, benefits to having a blind wife. You know she's blind. She's married to me. You obviously can't. She can't see clearly.
Right?
Just say it. Proof is in the pudding.
Walter said something and I forgot to mention it about buying, the Prusa printer. He says
yeah.
it's $1,300. I guess that's in Australian dollars, but he's thinking of getting one.
That's the same one that I have, and that's about what it cost. And then I just upgraded with the multimedia, so I can print 5 different colors without changing filament. I mentioned in there earlier, I started a 2-day print, and I checked it after an hour and ended up with a blob. So I shut it off, walked away. I haven't been back down there to figure out what was going on. I figured I'll work on it this weekend if we're around.
Hey, next year for Salton Sea, and I'm talking to. I don't know how this would work, but we could rent one of those Class C motorhomes, pull a cargo trailer behind it, and travel in style while we go cross country, and just split the fuel costs, and we have a place to stay when we get there. Make it a 2.5 or like a 2-week trip.
So
don't know.
you're gonna leave your house, you're gonna pick up Mark, then you're gonna go pick up Will, then you're gonna come pick up me, and then we're going to Salton Sea?
You start driving at a 45 towards Salton Sea.
We all meet in Kansas or northern Texas.
No, actually, I will drive up and I will go to Mark's house where will drive from whatever Carolina is, South Carolina, to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta we will drive, and about Kansas we'll pick up the Lears, and then we'll just head on down or head over straight over.
So what would the layover be in Atlanta?
However long it takes you.
Atlanta.
Well, it's going to be late afternoon because the time you get up at 2:30 in the afternoon, and then mill around, get 14
mill around,
and then head to Mark's. How far is Bad Apples from you, Will?
9 hours.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
further for me to go to Bad Apples than it is for you to go to Bad Apples.
Yeah, it's only 8 hours for me.
Mm-hmm.
God dang.
Yeah, Will's out there. That was like when we were talking about going to fly at Kitty Hawk from Ohio. It was that's a whole nother day's drive.
Yeah. Yeah, North Carolina is a real wide state.
Yeah.
Florida's not, unless you get to the top of it and then it spreads out.
It takes forever to go from South Florida, though, to get out of the state. I mean, that's a long state.
I think it takes me 3.5 hours to get out of Florida from my house. But if I was to go to the western end of Florida, I think it's like a 12-hour trip or 11-hour trip, something like that, from my house.
Yeah. I'm throwing the Keys in there, and that's a super long drive.
Yeah, right. I think the Keys are like 6 hours for me. I'm in Central Florida, so either which way I go, it's going to take me forever to get out.
Yeah, if you come out of Key West and go to Pensacola, that'd be a 2-day drive.
You're right.
Hmm.
So
My dad would always argue, he wouldn't argue, but he'd always say, why the heck would they put the capital of the state in the panhandle so far away from I mean, that's where he lived. So, I don't know. I guess that's where the money was at the time.
I wonder, man, I think that the guys that were here from Buffalo, New York, one guy rented a Class C motorhome. I think he was paying maybe $80 a day or something like that.
Negative.
That was the
That would have to be garbage. A decent Class C should rent for close to $300 a day.
No, he told me it was $80 or $90 a day. I know he was parked in my front yard because I asked him how much it was. because I was kind of curious. And then he told me that he had to have it back by noon the next day, or he's going to get late charge.
I have a better idea. Okay, so Kat and Keith have that Super C.
Yeah.
We'll just convince them to drive. We'll just sit in the back and we'll get there sometime.
Well,
And they already own it.
yeah, we give them $80 a day.
Yeah.
You won't pay for fuel.
Mm,
Or we can all just fly out and get hotels and just go back and forth every day.
I personally am not that interested in going.
You know,
There's
honestly,
there's
I-
plenty of stuff on the East Coast to go to.
honestly, I don't think I really am truly interested. I would like to check it out at least once, but I don't see next year doing it.
I'd like to eventually go out on a West Coast swing, and hit some of the, places around the Grand Canyon and see some of that stuff. That would be incredible one time.
I would like to do that too. That's on my bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not no
Going
week.
out there, I think.
For me, that's not a week trip. That's like a month trip.
Yeah. Sprinter fans are $150 a day. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it. And I'm just telling you what the guy told me. What do I know?
I mean, there's a ton of stuff on RV Share. It's all privately owned and the prices are all over the place. But if you get a decent diesel pusher or a big motorhome, they're not cheap. I rented a travel trailer on there when my dad was up at my house for a bit, and it was $125 a night, and it was just a little, a nice travel trailer.
You did not even let your dad sleep in your house.
We had a ton of people there.
Hey,
All were more important than your dad.
Exactly.
No, trust me, that was a better setup. I wanted to stay out there.
Oh, okay.
Krista had her own bed at Mark's house, and I had to sleep in the garage. I was just like, this is messed up. Probably drank all Krista's soda she left there too already.
No, I'm saving it. I'm trying to use it as bait. So far, I got nothing.
Well, you gotta talk. Well, we would have came back up, no problem. But someone gave us COVID, and Krista burned all her vacation time up. Now we're trying to figure out camping trips and fly-ins, and I told her.
I can't believe that Florida gave us COVID. Unreal. Unbelievable.
I
I think you dropped it off, man.
I think you got COVID from that mankini.
What you should have got was a rash.
Hey, if he did, it wasn't a very big rash.
Linda posted in here that there's going to be no show tomorrow or on Thursday. I'm sorry. Robert's going to be out Salton Sea.
Yeah.
Anybody have plans to do any free flight? I wouldn't mind trying that. I heard it's not. So when I talked to Shannon Michaels, she said that they had just gotten back from a free flight place, and she's like she didn't enjoy it at all because you're riding thermals, so you get yanked up or dropped out of the sky back and forth. I thought about it, but I don't know if that would be an enjoyable flight or not. If you're worried about your stomach the entire time.
It doesn't sound super fun to me, not compared to what we do. And it's I think that's a lot more serious as far as your landing, your launching, and then trying to make sure you got air to go up. I like squeezing the throttle.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, free flight, definitely your skills. I think your skills would have to be better than a paramotor pilot. But I mean, I think I would try it. if there's, conditions were right and I was like there with someone or whatever who knew what they were doing. Just like a bunny hill or buddy hill or whatever you call it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know at Swanee, when I went to that hill, that big mountain of whatever it was, Lime Rock. I still don't know what it was. The wind coming across the top of that was phenomenal. I mean, I actually had to flap my wing, the brakes, to get my wing to dive down so I could land. I had motor off for probably 20, 25 seconds. I never lost altitude. So I think it would be good if you had laminar air, but when I took off again and then went down the backside of it, knowing darn good and well you're not supposed to go downwind behind a hill with a rotor, and thank God that the backside of that hill or mountain, whatever you want to call it, was sloped because I dropped probably 50, 60 feet in a second, and then my wing caught. And once I got out of the rotor, and I said to myself, I was like, "That's the dumbest thing you've done so far, flying paramotors. Like that there's rotor coming off the backside of that. Why would you purposely go down the backside of this thing? Like, how dumb was that?" But I did it. All right, we got anything else to say tonight, guys? I think we're at 9:00, and
Yeah, I do.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Someone else did too, right?
What's that?
Okay, well, one thing, my next paramotor is going to have electric start. So one thing I am looking forward to is being able to go up, get a few thousand feet, 5,000 feet or whatever, kill the motor, and just experience flying down. I've never done that. Never intentionally killed the motor at altitude like that for fear that I might not be able to have the strength to restart it. But that made me think of that. So kind of looking forward to that.
The
Hey,
thing
Will, you have your equipment for sale, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's a Parajet. It's a Power to Fly Titan MY21. It's got under 50 miles. 50 miles. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. It's got under 50 hours. It's in perfect condition. And the reason I'm selling it is I'm going to get some color and I'm going to get electric start because I don't have the strength in my shoulder anymore like I used to.
Okay.
I will.
Price of that?
Oh, 6,200.
The only thing I don't like about restarting a motor in the air is throw yourself forward when you pull. Like throwing yourself out of the So every time
the blade straps are on.
dude, I always check my stuff. I'm like, okay, all good. Even then, I still find myself throwing, like trying to like just do arm. And I'm like, oh, dude, how dumb. Like that is the only thing that I dislike about having a pull start is that throwing yourself forward thing. It's so sketchy. I don't know why. All right, Mark McRoy, where can we find you at, sir?
You can find me on YouTube at Paralife PPG.
And have you put any videos out lately, maybe about chase cam?
Yeah, I put out a little tiny 4-minute video about my first 3 tries with the chase cam. Still don't have that perfected, but it's getting a little bit better. Keep trying a couple new things.
Very nice. Will, you got where can we find you, and have you put out any content lately?
You find me at YouTube under Will Fly or willflyppg.com. Put a video out last week. It is called Just the Tip 2.0. Check it out if you like corny humor.
Corny humor. Yes, it was. Obviously, they do. If they don't, they wouldn't be here. Well, that's where I'm at. Eric Lear, where can we find you? And do you have any content out?
No content out. You can find me at ppglear.com on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Tuesday of every month. And you can check out Jade's channel, paramotorgirl.com, and her show tomorrow is going to be a quite interesting one that a lot of people have a lot of questions on. So if you've seen her thumbnail, it's going to be good. So watch her show tomorrow.
Yes, and my wife is also a co-host on that show, Cupcake Krista, who doesn't fly, but surprises the absolute craziness out of me when she talks about risers and lines and wings. I'm like, how do you know this? She goes, I pay attention. I go, when? Because she never pays attention. But I absolutely find it fascinating that she's taken such an interest in this sport, and she's doing pretty good. I'm proud of her.
She's learning.
And I am your host, Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane, and you can find me on YouTube here on Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane or ppgshane.com on. Actually, if you type that into YouTube, you'll find me here too, and on TikTok at ppgshane.com. All right, you guys, thank you for stopping by. Eric will be on your channel the next 3. I only do Tuesday nights. The first Tuesday night of every month, Eric does the other 3 because I can't talk him into doing all 4. All right, guys, have a good night. Panel, thank you guys.